And I got a.
Yeah.
I think so. Look at me. Did I do it right? Do I remember how to do this?
Just
There
like
we go,
that.
guys, we are locked and loaded. I need to go. My new knee is working this.
All right, I call the meeting to order. Please join me in pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, folks. Thanks for coming and joining us tonight. Got a pretty busy schedule ahead of us, so we're gonna move on. Adjustments to the agenda. I do have a couple. Under presentations to 4.2, I'd like to get a report from our chairperson of the Economic Development Committee. And 10.2 on a new business. We're gonna like to have a discussion on veterans' graves. Any others? Need a motion on those adjustments?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
You have one?
Oh, yes.
Okay, first we'll start off with a public hearing. I'm sorry, back up. Presentations. Got a presentation 4.1 from Main Rivers Elwise Restoration, Washington Pond. Hi.
Thanks for coming, Landon.
Good evening, good evening. I haven't thought of what I'm going to be doing as a presentation, but I'm very pleased to be here to speak with you. My name is Landis Hudson. I'm the executive director of the nonprofit Main Rivers. I have been here before, and I know some of you from previous conversations that we've had over the seasons. We have been working with the town of Washington and a number of community members in Waldoboro and Washington to reestablish the river herring run going to Washington Pond. And that, like many things in the river world, is not a quick or easy thing to do. There are a number of issues that we've been working on, but I'm happy to come to Waldoboro because I have the impression that this community understands the value and importance of restoring river herring runs. They're good for the ecology, they're good for eagles and osprey, and they're also profitable for those who are able to harvest them. Over the past number of years, I've been involved in several successful, long, complicated projects to restore alewives, including working at 6 dams in Vassalboro to restore the run into China Lake, where we now have millions of adult fish that make their way from the ocean up the Kennebec, the Sebasticook, and into that lake. The opportunities for this watershed are wonderful and meaningful. The Department of Marine Resources has been enthusiastic about supporting work to restore the run into Washington Pond, and they've been stocking fish there for years. There are a few impediments. As you know, I presume fish make their way from the ocean up through rivers and streams to spawn in ponds and lakes. River herring alewives do. And things like dams and improperly sized culverts make that either challenging or completely impossible. So there are a number of sites along the way that we have been working on. And what I have brought to you today for your consideration is a proposal from a firm that we are asking to help us consider options for the Washington Pond Outlet Dam. This actually, there's a picture of it on the front of the proposal, which I've shared with you. It doesn't look like much. And when you first look at this low dam, you think, well, how could that be anything much to figure out how to get fish past it. But in fact, in addition to the spillway that the water runs over, it's actually an earthen berm. So people built up material around the dam to raise the level of the water. So it's going to take a bit of work to figure out how to get fish past that. We are pleased to be working cooperatively with the town of Washington. We are working with them on a culvert replacement project this coming summer. It's remarkably expensive. We've gotten funding from the Department of Transportation to help fund it. Maine Rivers is also funding it, and the town has put in funding for that. So that will be happening this coming summer on Calderwood Road. So that it will be a significant improvement. And what we're hoping to do here is come up with designs for the outlet dam. The dam itself, as we understand, is owned by the town, but there are two abutting property owners, and we can't really do anything there unless they are comfortable and preferably enthusiastic about it. So in order to do this, we have to come up with designs to have some options so that will primarily work for the fish, but then also work for the people that live nearby. Once upon a time, we were working with the Fish and Wildlife Service. There was a really wonderful fish passage engineer. And yes, that is a whole specialty. There are people that study just fish passage and engineering. But the fish passage engineer that we worked with moved from the public sector to the private sector. His name is Brian Sikowski, and formerly he worked for Fish and Wildlife Service. He's visited the site. He knows what we're trying to do in Washington Pond. He now works for a private firm called Gomez and Sullivan Engineers. So we reached out to him knowing that he was a talented engineer and also personable, somebody who would be likely to be able to communicate effectively with the people that live next to the dam, because that's part of the equation. We reached out to him and asked him to write up a proposal for producing a series of conceptual designs for options at that site. Now we have to figure out how to pay for it. And it's my understanding that there is a trust that is held yeah.
There's the Philip Reed Washington Fund, which was a donation to be used specifically for Alewife Passage in the town of Washington.
Mhm.
So it was given though to the town of Waldoboro.
Oh, interesting, yeah.
Because they know how important the alewives are. So it was actually left in our care. But it is the Philip Reed Washington Fund,
Okay.
And that was what,
$22,000
Hmm.
in that. It started out small and it's grown. So there would not be any issue from our end because it is specifically for the Washington portion of any Alewife restoration.
And what do we have in the Davis Trust Fund as well as
The
for
Davis
fish
is over 100,000.
over 100,000. And that's for restoration.
Alewife restoration,
Oh, restoration, yeah.
Waldoboro, I would
Just
say,
the wall of it.
but I don't know if there's crossover there. I'd have to look at that. But that's what both of those funds were for, was specific for alewife restoration. There's nothing else it can be used for. It has to be used for alewife restoration. It's a very important thing. I have to tell you, I have a funny story about alewives. So I'm from New Jersey and they're not called alewives where I come from. And
What do they call them?
Fish.
fish.
Oh.
They're called herring, but anyway, so alewives, Abden sends me off to this meeting. I'm here probably 2-3 months, maybe 6 months. I don't know. I go to this meeting about alewives and they're sitting there and they're talking about how they have to scale them. And I'm thinking, so I text him because I didn't want to look stupid and ask the question.
Scales off, right?
So I was like, so how do they weigh the fish? Like, do they catch one fish at a time and weigh it? Cause I'm thinking scale weigh, not scale fish. He's like,
What are you talking about?
what are you talking about? Call me. So I walked outside and I think he was just like, I can't believe we hired her to be the town manager. I just like thinking that's what he was thinking because I'm like, well, it didn't make sense to me. If you're not into it, they're talking about, how you have to
Age 'em.
age them and scale them. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, this is it.
So the amazing thing is, you can tell the age of a fish by looking at its scales. It's kind of like how you cut down a tree and then you can count the rings, but yeah.
And it's like the counting and everything, and but it is very interesting when you get into it, and I get very passionate about it because my son lives in Vassalboro.
Oh,
So, and we just saw you on a PBS special, so.
oh,
Yeah,
yes.
we were extremely, it was about restoring the Kennebec
Mhm.
and how fish have come back. So anyway, I'm done now. I'll shut up. That's my funny alewife.
It's a good story.
It is at my own expense.
Abby?
Landis, what are we looking at? I mean, I know I got a phone call saying what the engineering study was gonna cost like 20,200 or something like
Yep,
that.
it's in here. Yep.
I was looking for it.
It's on page 7, 20,244.
The last page.
Yeah, so what, yep,
Well, next to last page.
That's the thing.
right. Yeah. So what we would appreciate would be funding to go ahead and start the work to create 3 designs, 3 conceptual designs to share with the town of Washington, probably the Washington Pond Association, and then the 2 people that own property right next to the dam. And that would help us figure out how we can move forward.
Are they receptive, the people next to the dam, to at least listening?
One, I would say, very receptive, the other somewhat cautious. And that's part of the reason why we are trying to work carefully. And one of several reasons why I would hope to be able to work with this particular engineer, because he's good at the design work. And then the fish are relatively simple. The people are the complicated part. So, although, yeah.
I got a question. What's the partnership look like between Waldeboro and Washington? You know, I'm all about helping everyone out, but are we gonna put the bill for the whole thing, or do they have any funds on their end?
I think it's an ongoing discussion. So they were able to contribute to the cost of the Calderwood Road culvert replacement. So what my organization did, we kind of ghost wrote a grant proposal that they were able to submit to DOT. And then they also did put in some of their own revenue. So I think it's a good question, but it's not quite where we're at this point. Typically, what my organization tries to do is find solutions that work for the property owners and work as collaboratively as we can. So for instance, in the work that we did in Vassalboro, we didn't come to the town and say, here's the bill, we want you to pay everything. We were pleased to get support letters for grant proposals that we wrote. Those were very important, and sometimes it was helpful for a town to put in something that shows, you know, they're not going to pay for the whole project, but here's something that shows you're interested. And those kind of things can make a big difference. So we don't have, obviously we don't have a plan, so we don't have a cost estimate, but knowing Washington and knowing Waldeboro a little bit as I do, I think it would be it would have to be a collaborative project to fundraise for it. And I don't think it would be one town or the other. I think it would be a lot of working together.
Collaboratively.
Yeah. Yep.
And
What is your timeline? I know we had talked a little bit about grants and stuff like that.
Right.
And using some of this money as a matching funds.
Right.
What is your timeline, and do you know if there's grants out there? You decided to give you some money to go after a grant, say we give you $10,000 or $12,000, and if you could find a matching grant to pay for this. Is there a grant out there, and what's the timeline you're
Let's
looking
see.
at to get this
Yeah.
accomplished?
Well, if you look on page 4, there is a proposed schedule. And
Yeah, I've seen the schedule.
we're already off it a little bit.
Yeah, that's
So, I mean, to my mind, from what I've learned, things always take longer than you think. So in my mind, it would be helpful to get the engineer on the scene sooner to be able to review things, collect the rest of the data and kind of get going on it. And it shouldn't take him terribly long to get going. So this is a request for $20,000. As I recall, you had mentioned that there was a really wonderful grant writer and researcher that
We have one.
We do. She's
Wait,
not
no,
in here.
She disappeared. We
um,
do have a very good grant. Is that something that we could work on with her? I guess that would be a Julie question, is to get a grant and use some of this money as a matching grant and see what there is out there.
We're always open to grants as
Yeah.
a task,
Yeah.
you know.
I like the grant idea just because we don't spend all our money and then we're spinning our wheels with nothing.
yeah, I mean, this is a request for 20,000. It would be nice to be authorized to get this going and spend up to that amount, but in the meantime, start looking and working for other sources of funding. I know, for instance, there's the Maine Outdoor Heritage Fund, and that is but a lot of things, they are cyclical. So if there is a funding deadline, it may not come up the week that you want it to show up. It may be a few months in the future. So my hope would be to get the okay to start working on this now and consider fundraising along the way. But
Other questions from the board?
I know you said.
The only concern I have of doing the whole 20,000 is if we come up with a grant and we don't have the money to match that grant unless we take it out of the Davis Trust.
You would have to take it out of the
And
Davis
that's,
Trust.
and you said you didn't know if we,
I think the Davis Trust is for alewife restoration. I think you could make
It
a,
could be
you
safe.
could make a case for it.
Yeah.
This one was the Philip Reed was very specific.
yeah, I just want to make sure that we're not spending all the money and not, then a grant comes up and then we don't have the money to do the grant, so.
But
That's the
that
only concern I have.
Washington could, that could be where Washington steps forward and
Yeah, I don't know what they have for resources, so
Well-
that's my concern.
right, yeah, and they have committed to being part of the culvert project now. So that's, that was a,
so part of the issue is, I think if we're looking for a grant, I think we need to have a plan. So this gives you the plan
Right.
to get the grant.
right,
Okay.
right.
So I think we have to look at it like that.
Okay,
And then we can move forward and do the grant. Or any grants that come up, and you never know what we could find in the future.
Right, yep.
Any historical basis for a cost estimate for the ultimate project?
Pardon me?
For a project of this size, what the ultimate cost would be?
2 or 3 million.
I
think that's what it was back several years ago when we started.
Well, wasn't that for start to finish?
Right.
Wasn't that for all of them?
yeah, I don't know if I can give you a really solid cost estimate. I mean, for this,
Within an order of magnitude, is it 100,000? Is it 1 million? Is it
No.
10 million?
I'm sorry to tell you, $1 million comes and goes fairly quickly in, when you're dealing with dams and when you're dealing with infrastructure. I would like to say no, but
It's bigger than what we did on Elm.
Okay.
yeah. And also once you're into the realm of permitting and engineers and insurance, it's serious.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
There's one place in Washington that I've visited, Landis has visited, multiple people have visited, and the guy just will not budge until he passes away. Then he doesn't care what happens, so.
right, yeah,
He's in his 80s.
right, yeah,
So-
yeah. The good news that, it takes, grant writing and fundraising is a creative undertaking.
You have some creative people.
Yeah, but the good thing about alewife restoration now is it's pretty mainstream and pretty widely understood. So it's not unusual for large foundations in different places to be interested in finding ways that they can put money into.
But they
This
wanna
type of work.
see the local. They wanna see the local interest
They
in
wanna
it
see
too.
projects started and then jump in.
Right, yeah,
Which I don't see why they wouldn't,
right.
Between here and there, is there any areas that are concerning for the alewives? That, for passage?
Okay,
We have a lot of it in Waldeboro. I know that river pretty good, right from the head of tide right to the Washington line. And there's a number of different places. Is there anything that's concerning that we're gonna have to deal with?
there are remnants of old structures around. And it ranges from something like this, which is, a somewhat engineered structure that somebody put into place. Yeah, to things where there may have been a structure at one point and there's nothing there and something can be done. Moving blocks, moving rocks, more or less by hand. So there.
Beaver dams?
Yeah, sometimes beaver dams, yep. So I will say the people who lived here 150 years ago were extremely energetic when it came to building things in the streams and the river. And, not all of them are fish passage friendly at this point. So part of what we've been doing is going out and surveying things and looking at them and then communicating with people from DMR to find out what the issue is. But this other dam is a known other site that has to be dealt with.
But I think if we're working on both sides of it, and when it does come time to potentially take care of that issue, we get the other projects done.
Right,
So it's,
We're not looking at some of the scope of what they have in the mills, Damascotta Mill.
No.
No.
Down in,
Bristol
down in
Mills,
Bristol Mills.
no. No,
not even close.
no,
I think if I understand right, the residents want as minimal impact as possible. So,
right. But in this particular case for the outlet dam, minimal is not really possible. It has to be something that works for the Lake Association people.
right, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And where you have lake people, you have a lot of concern and consideration and,
But they also gotta understand that helps the lake, clean the lake up as well.
right,
Yeah, what's in there.
yeah, yeah.
And that's why it's been such a big issue is because they eat a lot of phosphorus. And that's a lot of problems ponds have is phosphorus.
We've been busy working in another part of Vassalboro over the past 2 years or so, actually rebuilding that fishway. It was put in 2009 and it was an Alaskan steep pass fishway. And it's actually become undersized. So many fish have been trying to get into that pond that for that reason and because DOT is going to be fixing a culvert upstream that will allow them to get into the next pond, we actually have embarked in a project that's been over $1 million rebuilding an existing fishway. So it's exciting that when things work, they can work really well.
Fish, 2 fish, 3 fish, 4.
And I mean, repeatedly, the last couple of years, we didn't get the fish counter in last year because there was so much runoff. Anywhere from 230 to 260,000 fish are going up through here. And that's just a Little Madomic and Big Madomic. If they get to Washington Pond, which is, I think, 3 times bigger than those 2 ponds combined, you could triple the amount of fish that could come out through here at minimum.
So the birds are ready out there.
And at some point in the future.
They came to the mills
We could
today.
harvest we could harvest like they do in
Yep.
Warren.
Yeah, that's always been my push is to get to that point. I remember when they did it.
Oh, yeah, I remember dipping the wife down there.
Yep. Yeah, they just showed up down at the Main Street Bridge the last few nights. They
Right.
really come in heavy last night. When I was down at Ealing.
They said the Damascotta Mills is heavy today.
Oh,
Yeah, so they're starting to come in. I actually talked to Larry today and told him that the fish were down there last night, so. The fish counter supposedly is all ready to go, and Mike confirmed with the sewer district that we can put an extension cord outside there if we have to move it up further. In a narrower spot.
So we're looking for
You want a motion? I'll make a motion to authorize up to $20,000 from the Philip Reed Washington Fund.
Second it.
any more discussion? All in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you.
And for what it's worth, World Fish Migration Day events are happening all over the state. I'll be going to Benton this Saturday. They're all over the place and it'll be fun to have one here eventually. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Next, we have 4.2. Conrad will talk us about the economic development.
Here's an annual report drafted by our member Ann Lehman. I'm Conrad Winslow, the current chair of the Economic Development Committee. And I'll be relatively brief because this report is quite detailed, but it just reviews what we've been working on, the ideas that we've tossed around, the different possible directions we could take the committee. And there is one request that we have to make today, which is about the new gateway signs to Waldoboro that have been designed. We put out an RFP. We got responses from Minuteman Signs and Adventure Advertising. Adventure Advertising was sort of in the range of 3,000, even though they actually responded to the RFP incorrectly. So it was a little bit difficult to compare apples to apples. Minuteman was about 4,500. But then Kate followed up with both of them, and Minuteman was much more responsive in terms of the materials of the signs, the options for installation, and so on. And Adventure Advertising gave a very kind of rote, quick response, fixing one error on the bid. So we need to have these signs manufactured, and it seems like our best bet is to proceed with Minuteman signs. That final cost would be somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000. So we're looking at for both the gateway signs,
So
plus a third,
plus the little ones, right?
plus a little one, the little
Okay.
turnoff at Jefferson, exactly.
And what did we budget for that? Do you remember?
We didn't have a number for the manufacturing specifically.
So we did have, the town voted to approve an amount for the signs, so we spent some on design, and I think we would have to come up with $1,000 more to cover that $5,000 cost,
That's what we done right.
to be done, yeah.
So that's where we need to go, get authorization to proceed with Minuteman. And then when it comes to the actual installation, the Public Works can be involved with the installation of the signs and taking down the old signs. And also the last determination is whether it's just 1-inch PVC or it's the aluminum on the outside with this kind of hollow core plastic on the inside that's capped on the sides. And should the posts on the sides holding up the sign be pressure treated wood, or could we, this is a question for you all, do we have granite laying around that we could use for the sides?
I saw that meeting that you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
I think it'd be hard for us to come up with something like that without costing us some money.
Yeah,
Because we do have some granite laying around in a few bushes in the town, but it'd have to be
Excavated.
honed, it's a bit
cut
of work.
and cleaned and
Yeah,
it'd be pretty expensive.
yeah, or we could just tear down the Hofstas house and take the granite out of the foundation and use those for the sign.
Not to say that, start off with pressure treated, that we do come up with something that could easily be replaced.
Sure. Okay, so there's where we are with the signage stuff. So I'll ask for a motion in a moment, but I just wanted to finish kind of going through this quickly. You'll see that if you flip towards the end here, the downtown beautification stuff, what we have discovered from doing the downtown forums in the fall of 24 and also in 25 is that the best, most effective way for us to mobilize this committee in support of the town is to proceed with development of the Worcester lot. If we can reorganize this EDC to be basically planning support in order to develop that lot, call it the Worcester project, that will be the best use of our time. Because as you see, when you flip through the rest of this, like longer term projects, we've talked about databases of vacant properties, helping developers find opportunities, support for housing, looking for ways of publicizing aid for lower income folks who need mortgage assistance. There's a lot of stuff. There's very limited capacity. There are so many projects that we could be doing. And I'm just looking around, I'm realizing we need to focus very strategically with the capacity of our volunteers. So it sort of seems like everyone's in agreement. We've got the Worcester lot. The time is ripe with new businesses in the village for us to get this thing going. So we got to come up with a design for the Worcester lot. We've got to come up with some money to make it happen. So these are kind of, I mean, as you know, we also have the park to build in the next few years. So I'd like to see this committee over the next couple of years really focus very tightly on developing that Worcester lot. There's a lot of adjacent things that go along with it, like you see in here, the beautification stuff, working with the garden club on garden boxes. Of course, when the raised crossways come in, that's going to be tied into a lot of the village development stuff as well. Yeah, so that's where we are with the EDC.
Well, I think it's a great idea that you guys would kind of focus towards one instead of being shot
All
down.
over the place.
You know, it's like, how do you eat an elephant?
Exactly.
One bite at a time.
Yeah.
So look at this as your bite you're gonna take right now for the next couple of years. Cause it'll all grow out from there.
That's the hope. Yeah. I mean, I love when people come in and they say, wouldn't it be nice to have this? Wouldn't it be nice? It's like, well, you know what? We have a town planner who's here 2 days a week. We have people who are not excited to spend tons of taxpayer money. Let's be really focused here and see what will have the biggest dividends down the road for the town. So
So one of the things we've discovered too is that there's no terms on the EDC is the only committee that was constructed that does not have a like
Mission
appointment and
statement?
a term.
Like a mission statement. Oh, okay, gotcha.
So I think we need to, is this a area, like, how many members do you think is a good?
well, we could.
The select board's gonna have to make appointments and things like that.
There could be one more on our current committee. We have 8, well, including
members.
Ruben, but we could also have an additional member. I mean, that's a pretty good number, 9 or 10. How many are on the park committee right now?
9.
9. 9 would be a good number.
You know, and eventually that committee could be phasing out anyway, right? Once the park is.
Once the
developed.
park's done.
Yeah.
Doesn't go.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I know, like, on the
Yeah.
park committee, we got to a point where we were like, hey, we're developing a park for the community, but there was nobody on the committee that had children.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we had to put out a call for, well, because there was obviously
Yeah.
a group that wasn't represented. Is your membership currently well represented as?
I would like to see a couple more business owners or building owners from the village area. So I'm going to meet with a couple folks and see if I can recruit people who have
Vested interest.
a vested interest in
Whether the
the
residents or
village.
not, right?
Yes, that's my question for the select board. Is there restrictions on committee members generally, or is that a committee specific thing about residency requirements?
They can be on the board, but I don't believe they can vote.
Well,
Because we had that same thing with the Shellfish Committee, because I wanted to put non-residents on.
Would it, I can appreciate that, however, if they're a building owner, they have a financial
But they're not a
interest.
resident.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have license holders from out of town
It's the
that
same
have
deal.
vested interest in the town because they bought a license here, shellfish license here, but they still have no vote.
You know, these folks are paying taxes and they got a business in the town.
But it's like living in one town and having a vacation home on Old Orchard Beach and you vote and here and vacation. You see what I mean?
Which
I think it's good to have them on there. I'm not even saying that. It just, they may not have.
Could
a
we have
vote.
2 advisory seats that aren't voting members?
You do that.
That's a fine structure. Better than nothing in terms of
True.
representation.
Yeah.
Right.
And if that person's good enough, they can convince the voting members what they want and need.
Yeah.
So would it be a good idea to just reconstitute this committee, you think? Like, obviously, their focus has changed.
And-
Maybe you want to just put out a call for, like we did with the park committee?
Yeah, but that,
But we reconstituted that. We asked for letters of people who were still
it's
interested.
all about economic development and right now you're focusing on the downtown. 3 or 4 years, it could be another area.
Right, but do you want to send out letters and say, hey, do you still want to be, because somebody might not want to just have that focus.
Of the current committee?
Yeah,
I don't see the harm.
It wouldn't hurt.
Okay.
So I don't want to take up any extra time, but we need authorization to proceed with the sign manufacturing.
What was the name of the company again? Minuteman,
Minuteman, based in Augusta.
Justin.
up to 4,500,
Um,
or is it? up
what
to
can we,
five? Okay, make a motion, we award the RFP to Minuteman for up to $5,000 for our new sounds.
Second.
More discussion? The town did authorize based on the sale of the school, right?
Yes.
Francis Street School
Mhm.
to go towards that.
And we have money left over in there as well, right?
There's money left over in there and we can find
Yep.
the difference.
I'm gonna abstain only because there are things in here I voted on in the past for the sign.
All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions, one.
thank you.
Thank you. Good job with that committee.
Thanks. Yeah, keep them straight.
Yeah.
Making stuff happen.
It's-
Great.
Okay, next, item 5, we have a public hearing. Motion to open up the public hearing to discuss the June 9th municipal warrant. So moved.
Second.
In favor, open the hearing. We get town manager to go, you don't have to go line by line unless someone, for some of the highlights of our warrant.
Some of the highlights of our warrant. So exciting, this warrant, let me tell you. Well, I will tell you that there are 2 seats for the select board assessors and overseers of the poor, and those candidates are John Blodgett, William Bragg, Ann Lehman, and Shane McGarvey. There are 2 3-year terms for the board of directors and 4 candidates: Seth Paul, Sonia Sleeper, Robert Smith, Melvin Williams. The utility board, district board of trustees, there is no one running, so there will be write-ins for both seats. And for the budget committee, you have to vote for 4. There is John Burgess, Robert Butler, and Jan Minzy, and 1 write-in.
No, they don't have to vote for 4.
Well, you could vote
You
for,
could
right,
vote for-
well, it
You
says
could write in 4. if you
vote for
want to.
4 if you wanted to. Sorry. You don't want me to go line for line? Or do you want me to? I can synopsize it. quick.
Synopsize it. Since we have, how many articles in here?
So I will tell you the budget articles,
50 articles?
30.
our budget
35.
articles, if you attended any of our meetings, or you can watch them on YouTube. We are blessed in the town of Waldeboro, truly blessed with a wonderful budget committee. Miss Rebecca, she attended, I think, every budget committee meeting. More people should, here's my preach. More people should come to the budget committee meeting. You will learn so much about a town if you go to their budget committee meeting. The budget committee and the select board, Peg, our finance director, and I'm gonna throw myself in there. We work very hard to present a budget that is very mindful of our taxpayers. And this year, we did not have an increase.
3 years in a row.
Less than 1%.
It was less than 1%. Oh,
Yeah, this year,
0.06%.
this
point
year,
zero,
this year,
Okay.
yeah, this is
point
like
zero,
just over.
0.06%, that's right.
Can
I-
I say something?
Yes.
It is about, and to anybody listening, there are a lot of numbers,
Hmm.
but it's so much about people. And it's so much a plan for where our town, its needs, and everyone's point of view of how we meet those needs. And it's so important. I wish people would attend them. And there's lots of drama. It's also interesting.
It is.
And you learn something.
And that's the thing, at the end of the day, it comes down to how do we balance this? And a lot of thought on the budget committee and the select board went into knowing what the school was doing this year and trying to make sure that we did everything that we could, to to offset some of the impact that the school would have on the taxpayer. So, you know, you don't see that a lot in other places. And I'm just very proud of the budget committee and the select board and how they conduct themselves during these budget discussions. And you're right, they don't always agree. And
We all walked out shaking hands.
yeah, and you don't have to always agree. And not everybody votes for everything. And sometimes it's you know, they explain why, sometimes they don't, but it's okay because you know they're doing it for the good of the town. There's nobody sitting in those seats. And sometimes I even get frustrated. Like, you know, how many times do I have to explain this? But the truth of the matter is, I like to have the questions, but nobody is that's sitting in those seats. They have one thing all in common, and it's that they have the love for Waldoboro and the good of Waldoboro in their hearts. And I think that's really impressive.
Abby,
And I think Rebecca could attest to, even though you see the numbers of the select board being unanimous and the budget committee being unanimous, it's not rubber stamped. We
No.
fight and argue and beat things to death before we actually vote on it. But that's a consensus when we get to that point, when our numbers are all the same. So I hear it from time to time that all we do is just rubber stamp stuff, and that's absolutely false. Unbelievably false.
So,
Rebecca can attest to that.
I will attest to it.
we do have 2 ordinance articles this year. Ordinance Article 37 is to vote to enact changes to the existing land use ordinance. And this ordinance is on file at the town clerk's office. These changes reflect new legislation and community feedback received in the last year. And these were ordinance changes that were brought forth. Some were by the planning board, some were by code enforcement, and they were done over a series of meetings at the planning board. They held their own separate public hearing on these. So that anytime there's a land use change, it goes through planning board, then it comes to the select board for placement on the warrant, and then here we are for the public hearing. We also, Article 38 is also an ordinance entitled, it is a revision to our sex offender residency restriction ordinance. And what this does is it clarifies that the ordinance establishes the buffer to be the maximum distance as allowed by state law. So when state law changes, we don't have to change our ordinance. It just follows whatever the maximum distance is allowed by state law for residency near schools and other publicly owned property where children are primary users. We are fixing the dates for when taxes are due. We are authorizing the tax collector to offer a 2027 tax club plan for people who don't know about this. And believe it or not, there are people who don't know we have a tax club plan, so that if you don't want to pay taxes twice a year, you can pay it for throughout the year 12 times or 10. 10. It comes out to be 10 by the time your tax bill comes and it's due again. So it's about 10 times a year. It just helps you if you're having a little bit of trouble paying it. And those 2 payments, you can pay it over time. We are allowing the tax collector this year to accept payments for the 2028 tax year. So the amount shall not exceed the previous year's taxes, with no interest payable on any prepayment. Article 42 allows the select board to dispose of tax acquired property as they deem in the best interest of the town. And we changed the wording on this to comply with the new rules for tax acquired property. And those are really the big changes.
And most of the rest of the stuff is all
It's all what you
stuff
would
we have to do
typically
every
see
year.
every year. Oh, and our amazing town clerk put together a voter guide, which is available in print at the front counter and also online.
It's a really great guide.
It is a really great guide. We try to change it every year.
That includes information from the school regarding the bonds as well.
Yes.
Cool. That was really complete.
Anybody have any questions?
Any comments from the public regarding this? Questions? None? Select board, any comment?
No. Said what I had to say, so.
Make the move, someone make a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved. Second.
Election day is June 9th. From 8 AM to 8 PM and absentee ballots are available.
In favor of closing the hearing? Get a motion to act on the June 9th warrant?
Make a motion to approve the June 9th, 2026 municipal warrant.
Second.
Any more discussion, all in favor? We got no choice because they're printed, right?
Yeah, I mean, the absentees are already available.
Hey. Citizen comments. Any comments from the citizens that we haven't, it's not on the agenda for this evening? Huh? Select board comments.
Nope, I'm good.
Nothing here.
Mike?
No, I have nothing.
I see a lot of work on Mill Street with those sidewalks. It looks great. Public Works doing a good job.
I have a citizen who continuously asks me about sidewalks.
I will tell you, Public
I
Works,
notice it.
Public
and they're
Works has
doing a
just
good
been
job.
super busy.
Yep.
Right now, the beavers in town are really giving them a hard
Oh,
time.
no.
There's a lot of beaver flooding going on.
Someone crossing the road. I don't think I've ever seen before.
Did you hit,
They're probably angry.
did you hit it?
Probably their.
Will
house had been
Will-
ripped down by Will.
Will was out on Saturday trying to unplug a culvert that beavers had filled up. And he had they had just unplugged it. I think it was Thursday. And then by Saturday, he was
Busy beavers.
We have a
Is-
couple
is
local
busy-
trappers.
busy beavers.
Is that a Will action figure?
It is an action figure, but it is not.
Hey, I haven't had my comment.
I know. Oh, that's right.
I have no comments. Town manager report.
I'm starting my town manager report out with this John Daigle action figure.
Oh, my God.
Isn't that cool? So
This
I'm sure he's real impressed.
he is very impressed.
is-
He has seen it. His wife liked it. She thought it was quite funny. A resident,
Oh, that's a 3D.
it's a 3D
3D printer.
printed, John Daigle with, his recycling bin and his trash bin. So, as many of you know, there were some enforcement of rules up at the transfer station. So we printed out flyers and my staff put John Daigle front and center on the flyer because he is the director of the transfer station. No new rules at the transfer station. We've always had stickers. We've had stickers for as long as you can remember, probably.
Oh, God.
We've always had a recycling requirement, but we are enforcing it like we have not in a few years. And the new stickers came out, so there was a lot of comment about it. So we are making John the recycling guru of Waldoboro.
Well, with that enforcement, it shows when you look at the budget.
It does.
We talked about the budget, and when John presented the budget this year, we showed how much it's helped our tipping fees, our hauling fees, and it's just gonna help in the long run.
Everybody.
It helps in the long run.
It helps everybody. And it's preventing people who should not be coming in and dumping from coming in and dumping. So we had our first weekend, we had people who were from Union and Jefferson and Warren and who, wanted to come in and we're like, no, you can't. So it's a good thing. So this is just something I thought was very nice of a resident to make. And I thought I should bring it out and display it because that was a big issue in Waldoboro, I'm sure Cushing and Friendship too. So we're moving on with that, but that's all I have tonight.
That's all you have?
That's all I have.
Moving on to the consent calendar. Do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So moved.
Did you also see the correspondence for the bench placement at
Landing?
the landing? That's because that's what you would also be approving.
I don't see that.
Did it not make it in the packet?
I don't think it's,
I was gonna say, I didn't think I saw it, but I remember we discussed it.
Discussed it.
right.
You want me to go print it out?
Yeah, just so they can see the bench. It's in keeping with what's down there and it's not going to be, it's going to be up by the apple tree.
Yes, that's right.
It's not going to be down on the actual landing itself.
Because that's starting to get plugged up down there. It was
Well, not
two
only that,
benches plus the picnic tables and
right,
the
right.
wharf ramp. So
So it's next to the,
It's,
the tree we planted with the, for the intent, the 250th.
yes, the 250th. It's up closer to the road.
cool. I guess we really probably don't need to see it then, I guess. You mean?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one.
Semi first.
She's out
Okay.
getting it.
Yep.
Semi.
You can go ahead. If you don't like it, we can always undo it, but
What's that?
it's an approved bench. It's something we'll look at.
Nope.
It's fine.
It is being, it's on a what? What's it being put there for?
I believe. I can't remember. She'll bring it.
You know, one of the nights
Once,
when I was down there healing, one of the benches, some people come down with clam hods. They're actually aluminum steel clam hods and filled with flowers and stuff like that. And they bicycle locked them to the benches while we were sitting there. That's pretty interesting.
so now we have one down there for John, right? The other one, the bench.
Yes.
Yeah, there's one for John and one for Roger Feltus.
Right.
Mhm.
Oh, cool.
To the garden club.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yep.
Cast.
Yes. It's a catalpa tree.
We'll go with that.
I was just thinking that's what it was.
Yeah.
It would be honoring past, present, and future club members for their contributions to the town. But it's very garden club-esque.
Somebody second and I missed it.
Ruben did.
Any more discussion? All in favor? New business, 10.1. Maine Municipal Association Legislative Policy Committee nomination form. I don't have that in here either.
If you have somebody that you would like to nominate from the town to sit on the Legislative Policy Committee, in the past it was Bob Butler, did it as a select board member. If one of you would like to serve, we put your name in. And then further on down the line, in about a month, you'll have to come up with a brief description of yourselves and what you're interested in. And we submit like almost like a resume to the MMA, and you can sit on the Legislative Policy Committee. And that sets what MMA's policy, what they're going to work towards for that year.
Has Bob still expressed interest in that?
No, he stepped back and I filled in for him.
Is that in person or virtual or what are the meetings?
Most of the time it's in person.
Anyone care to be on this committee?
I'll nominate you.
And the meetings are mostly during the day.
Mostly during the day, so I would.
Yeah, I can't go either.
I work for this.
Yeah.
You'll be up there anyway.
I have multiple jobs.
Yeah.
I really can't do it.
It's down to you, Mike.
So we don't have to.
You don't have
We
to.
don't- we don't-
not running.
He's not gonna be here
I'm not
after.
gonna be
a month.
here. RuPaul.
We haven't always had someone on the committee.
You haven't always.
Is there a deadline?
The end of this week.
And it doesn't have to be
Oh.
a select board member, correct?
No, it could be an appointed, one
Yeah.
of your appointees, an elected or appointed municipal official.
So if anybody would like to do it,
Municipal official.
Municipal
Is
official.
Conrad
Let
interested in
us
doing something
know.
like that since he's doing development in the EDC?
What's the commitment of this?
It's quarterly meetings.
Quarterly meeting in Augusta.
Maybe.
So can I throw your name in there?
Okay.
I would like to throw Conrad's name in there as
Okay.
since he's a board member on another committee, so he
Chair.
qualifies, so
I think
that's a great
idea.
I,
He's like, why did I stay?
Could've gone home.
Good idea. I like that.
I do too, actually.
It's useful work. It's important.
I will
I'll
tell
second,
you-
I'll second it.
I will tell you, it will be nice to hear from somebody who's not totally entrenched in municipal government.
Mhm.
And provide an outside voice, because one of my frustrations from sitting on it is. When you get a bunch of bureaucrats together, you sometimes come up with bureaucracy, so I think it will be great to have somebody whose. Life has not been devoted to municipal government.
I mean, I'm curious to see how priorities are set. So.
And I think that would help you as the EDC chair to help with what we need to do here.
Okay.
And you've seen several things through. It's
Yes,
easy to start
exactly.
conversations. You finished some stuff.
Moved in second in, all in favor? You're popular. Thank you, Conrad. Yeah, thank you.
This is what happens when you do a good job.
Okay, 10.2. We'll have a discussion on the veterans grave. We have in our preference Paul, you're the finance officer?
That is correct.
Everyone knows that we, as a town, we support funding for the flags and whatnot at the veterans historically, the American Legion's always taken care of that, and we've been paying the bill, so Paul's in there, talks a little bit about what it does for us and what it does for them, how it all works.
Well, up to this year, the town and municipality have been providing $1,000 for us to procure flags and the medallions, that hold the flags if they're there. And I just made a purchase and the bill come up to $1,944 for the flags. And I think it's something like $600 and some odd dollars for the medallion. So the $1,000 annual really hasn't been covering it. The difference, the post has been covering that. I'm the new finance officer. I'm new in town. I'm relatively new to the town and new to the post, but this is now my home, and I try to make it a good home for everybody. But I don't. The post has just so much money that we're able to generate. So I'm looking to try to ask the town to help us with what funds we have expended this year. And I will come back at budget time and talk with you folks some more of how we can, get things set up a little bit better so that it's not a shortcoming to either one of us. One of the reasons for the extra expense is listening to my other post members. The flags didn't last. They were poor quality, they ripped, tear. So I've done some research, talking to different people. I found a new source for the sign store and flag center down in Auburn. Went down there and got a couple of flags. They're a much better quality, but a little more price. Where we had been buying the flags in the past has been through the American Legion emblem organization, and $1.86 a flag this year. And for the new flags that I purchased, it was $2.25. So there's a little more expense. And then, unfortunately, the veterans seem to keep moving towards the cemeteries. So we have to have more medallions, you know, in order to support that. You know, there's not a decrease, it's always an increase. So I'd like to have you folks consider for that reimbursement for this year. And we'll definitely come back and talk to you about, you know, in the budget process. Like I say, I'm new to town, but I want to make it so that this post in Waldeboro is definitively part of this town. You know, we're here to be part of the community. That's part of our preamble, I believe. Any further questions, you know, for me?
I talked to Peg a little bit about this. I was a commander of the Soul Schumann 4525 when unfortunately the post shut down. Gosh, it's probably been 8-10 years now. And when we sold the building, we had a donation, and part of the donation was to put that monument up at, I call it Memorial Park there off Pine Street.
Right,
The
yes.
Soul Schumann Memorial, because we never really, so I said, we gotta have something to remember Billy Soul and Billy Schumann and their sacrifice in Vietnam. And we also had some extra money and we gave it to the town to help veterans, and for to my talking to Peg, that it's still there somewhere.
Still there.
So that's what I suggested, that maybe we could use that to offset this.
How much money was in that account, did she say?
We gave 1,000.
There was 1,000. But the balance is 1582.40. Plus the 1,000 that we already gave in the budget, correct?
So there's 1,000 that we gave them back in November.
Mhm.
And then we'll have 1,000 to give them after July 1st.
July 1st.
Right, so that makes it's 1944 plus the 638,
Right, which we already gave them 1,000,
so that's 1582.40.
right?
That's the remainder.
So the
So that's, we just got to come
582,
up with the 15.
we could take that out of parks and the parks, buildings and maintenance.
Is that where you want to?
That's where we would take it from.
Okay, I'll make that.
We'll use both of those.
I'll make that motion.
There's also the select board has you have your miscellaneous line item too.
We'll come up with the $1,582.40 for the veterans graves.
Whatever we need to do to.
And
That's a
I think in the past, what they did is they didn't order, my understanding of what would happen in the past is they'd order a certain number of flags every year.
And that's what we have been doing.
Yeah.
But we've been
But you
covering,
gotta- Yeah,
but we've been covering the extra cost.
yeah.
You know, it's been that
Yeah,
way,
it's
and
gotta- Yeah, you just have to let us know.
right, and you know, now I have some knowledge and understanding. I'm trying to do that, but trying to catch up with myself now.
Made that motion. Second.
Thank you. Thank you very much for
Thank you for.
being helpful.
Thanks
Thank you.
for setting up a Memorial Day parade coming up here in another week or so.
Yeah, we're working on it. We have our post meeting tomorrow night. You can be there.
I remember, and Wednesday nights I've got other meetings. That's the problem. I go to Friendship to a meeting on
Well,
Wednesday.
you can skip one of those and come to ours.
I like you, you're okay.
Yeah. He's a Navy man.
Yeah.
CB.
Can do.
Right, Rebecca?
CBs.
Okay.
You're all set.
Yep.
All have a good evening.
Thanks,
You
Paul.
too.
11.1, old business. We have our tax guru, Christine, and talk to us about tax acquired property.
Okay, riveting stuff.
No, I-
Have a stack of additional paperwork for you. This is in addition to the revised policy that you had in your packet. The town is the proud owner of 27 tax acquired properties.
How many you say down here? 27?
27. So the first part is the status list. Which shows all the parcels and the balances due on each of the properties that we acquired from 2023 to 2026. So these are all the ones that remain pending. And it does include the parcels on Lady Slipper that we have not yet abated. I made copies of the property tax cards because I think that's probably the easiest way to see what each parcel is and which ones have buildings on them. The pictures of the buildings for the parcels that have buildings or structures. Pictures would be on the back of the property tax cards.
We actually own these, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, what happens is the taxes automatically foreclose. Unless waived by the select board. And these particular parcels didn't have waivers on them. And I know this is a lot of information to digest. I don't expect you to do anything with it tonight.
Yeah.
But you might consider at some point. I imagine that you've all taken a look at the revised policy. If you're good with the policy and want to adopt it, it's probably a good time to at least talk about maybe going out, find a real estate agent that will work with you. Because this is gonna probably be a pretty long process from finding a real estate broker to work with you to actually selling a property. And I do want to draw your attention in particular to 135 Duck Peddle Road. The previous owner was Rusconi. That parcel is actually in farmland. Farmland, tree growth, it's in tree growth. Yeah, I have not been able to get in touch with her. I don't know where she is.
Got a picture of it last meeting.
Is that the one they, it's not the one they have listed for like $1 million or something like that, is it?
They have
1.3.
1.3.
It was 2 and it's been dropped, 2 million, it's been dropping.
So
Well,
technically we own it.
We are-
Yeah,
That's what I just
they
said.
really, I didn't know it was on the market. They need to take it off the market.
There's another one on the market too.
There's one on,
1857. I'm sorry, 636 Washington.
Washington Road is on the
So-
market too.
Maybe we should think about sending notices again.
I know that sign.
I know it's that
I
sign
mean,
on it.
that's not the person who has it listed.
No, it isn't. The old Route 1, older,
The,
yeah,
the,
Old County Road one isn't.
no, the 135 Duck Puddle is
Oh,
not who has
you're
it
right.
listed
Correct.
Really?
on for sale. That's not the woman's name, no.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2 of these are on the market actively.
We would need more information about that because I think that we should probably notify the real estate agents.
But the town actually owns them.
Yeah, because this is a problem.
It's a can of worms.
Mhm.
Good
Well, that
investigating.
all-
Because
Also,
if they go under contract, an attorney hopefully would be involved, but attorneys aren't always involved in these
Another one.
transactions.
Oh.
They're listed by real estate agents, so chances are there would be some sort of a title company would have to insure it, and then if they.
Well, I
insure
would
it,
think
then they
so.
would have to pay
Yeah.
us Something. There's title insurance usually.
That's the one.
Is that the one I'm,
That's fine.
oh, okay.
So what's the other address that's on the market?
The Washington Road,
Okay,
8%.
that's our local real estate.
636 Washington Road. The town 1857.
1867. Oh,
And Jessica Cooley has that listed.
I actually saw that on,
I saw it on my commute.
last week, a couple weeks ago, I saw the sign up.
I did too, although I tried to look it up to see what it was all about, and couldn't find it online, so there's a sign there, but I couldn't
It's
find it.
636 Washington
So
and
Christine,
640.
how do you? So these folks, they must have received something from the town saying that we.
oh, yes,
Yeah, now-
multiple.
With
Notices.
return receipt and all that stuff, anything, so we know, we know that they know that we know.
Yes, all of that. Yeah, there's no way that they wouldn't know. Even if they refuse to pick up their certified mail. They know that they owe taxes on an annual basis. And especially Duck Puddle, she knows how it works.
And has that prompted in the past, has that prompted someone to hurry up and get in here and pay the taxes so they're not, they can get it back? I would assume so.
Yeah, that's usually the case, but not this year. People are not rushing to get their property back. There's only a few people who are interested. So Benedict's, he's paying his off. And Joseph Brand. So I don't think you'll have to deal with those two.
Just paying it off.
They'll pay it off.
And Joey is
So
as well.
Yeah, because that was just taken care of in the last, Board of Assessors meeting.
Oh, okay, yeah.
but the rest of these are owned.
Correct.
It's a little overwhelming.
What kind of timeline are you looking at to have us take some sort of action on this?
Well, that's the thing about, once it becomes tax acquired and the town owns it, the statutory timeline evaporates. So it's really up to this board how you want to deal with each of these parcels on their own merit. And you don't even have to treat them all in the same way.
Right.
Just as long as you follow a tax acquired policy. I don't imagine the town will want to retain any of these parcels. So if we send out the 90-day notice, letting people know that you're planning on selling the property, then that starts the clock.
But at the county, there is something filed that says
Oh, yeah,
we own this. So when they go to do, if somebody were to buy one of these properties, they're gonna realize when they do the title search.
yes. But what concerns me, and I don't know if it's an issue with these parcels or not, but for example, during the pandemic, people were so anxious to get to Maine, they would buy anything without doing any work. And if they come to find out that the town actually owns the property,
And do we know how many of these are people actually living?
I have no way of knowing that.
Got your homework cut out for you.
Is this a mark issue to find out? Well, if they're living there, is it a code issue?
It's a liability issue for the town.
Right,
Not
who
code.
handles that? That's where I was going with
Well,
that.
that's the thing, we need to distinguish with whether or not the town actually takes possession.
Right.
Right, I understand that.
So if we're not kicking somebody out of their home, then there's really, the insurance liability isn't there. But if we do,
Take it, then it's our liability.
yeah,
Okay.
or if it's vacant,
Yeah. if
and it's
vacant.
possible that some of these trailers might be vacant.
Is that a Daryl issue? Can Daryl
I think we
investigate
can,
these?
I think we can,
This is a
we,
tax assessor?
we can assign somebody to determine. that.
Okay, I just didn't know whose position that would be.
Mhm.
Or do we in-house or out-of-house?
I think it depends on. I think it could be multiple people.
Yeah.
I think
kind of
when you're
ownership.
dealing with something like that, you might want
Yeah,
assistance
definitely.
from different departments.
Just kind of in shock, that's all.
No, the town used to sell tax acquired properties. And that changed with pretty much with the new laws that came down as a result of the Supreme Court
Mhm.
ruling. I forget where it was.
Yeah.
My biggest problem with having this many properties isn't the liability so much as it chips away at the tax base.
It does, absolutely.
And, you know, regardless of any other issues, I would like the town to take action, including up to and including selling these properties, even if it's only for $1, to get it back on the tax
Back on
rolls.
the rolls, yeah. And I think that's a reasonable approach that other communities have certainly taken that route just to
We
get
have
it back.
drop These apparently uncollectible taxes.
Mhm. Yeah,
into the hands of more taxpayers.
right. And if you're looking at the last page on the status list, the total
Yeah.
pending is $144,000. Or more than that, with interest of $148,000.
Now, the thing is, you talk about that, Mike, but do we sell it back to the person for $1 and they still don't pay taxes on it? You,
Yeah, I don't know.
And that's fine if a homestead will cover it.
what's that?
It's fine if a homestead will cover it. But,
You know, if you got a lot that has a well and a septic on it or whatever, or even open land, I
mhm.
see so much fresh land, people building homes on. I gotta believe that there's gonna be competition for these lots of lands, whether it's Ralph's or Bogues or whoever, they would buy these properties and
But they're all gonna be listed with a real estate agent as well.
so I'm.
Yeah,
would
I mean,
be
I'm
free up
looking
to
at these
sell the
parcels.
property for the
When I
town to
flip
sell.
through them, I'm seeing some marketable properties here. You know, they're pretty reasonable. Some of them I think are probably pretty reasonable dwellings. Yeah,
Is there a motion here somewhere you can make or?
Not yet.
Not yet, not
Uh,
tonight.
I think the only motion that you might consider tonight is just to adopt the revised policy. So at least that will give, when I'm talking with Julie and Daryl or whomever, it will give us a basis to come up with a program that we can offer you that you might consider.
I'd like to do some work.
I mean, it does give the former owner the ability to get the property back, the policy
Yes.
does, which I think is what our goal is.
Yeah.
But like I said, again. We assume, you know what happens when you assume that they know that their property is,
Yeah,
they haven't been paying the taxes. and
I
they
would
know
like to actually put a notice,
On the building.
yes, on the
or-
building.
or Can we hand deliver, so we can hand deliver something to someone physically?
I think
Yes.
that putting the notice on the property is a really
And
good.
I'm happy to do that if someone will go with me.
Oh, exactly. I wouldn't want to put that, any one person in that position do it by themselves.
Yeah,
'Cause
I mean,
I would
some-
want nothing else, a witness.
Some of these people are, some of these properties are well-known.
And there's a few properties in there that,
That-
like you said, they are marketable pieces of property.
And there are,
mhm,
And I know, me personally, if someone came to my door and said, your town, I'm gonna find that money. If I wanna live here, I'm gonna find a way to pay for that. I'm gonna have to. If not, my next step is to find another place to live and let the town take my house.
yeah, and some of the balances aren't even that daunting.
No.
I know they are for some people. You know, it can be difficult, but these are not insurmountable.
and
values.
even if the house is sold, the proceeds with minus taxes go to the owner.
Back to the owner.
Back
Right.
to the
We don't,
owner.
we don't make money.
Right, we're not making money on it,
For the bank,
or the, well,
because we're first in line, correct?
we're first in line.
Correct.
But then somebody becomes a taxpayer, hopefully. the new
Correct.
owner.
I guess the motion I'll make is, I make the motion that we adopt the new tax required property policy.
Second.
Set forth.
I let Jessica know.
Any more discussion on that, on the policy, adopt the
Good.
policy? All in favor?
Here's a clean copy to sign.
She has a
Yeah,
folder for them.
Oh, yeah, well, it needs to be
So I
signed.
guess
They'll all sign
the
on.
next step would be to. I guess come together and. Between town review and town manager and Daryl and try and figure out a plan how we can. present it
Yeah.
to Make.
At least to maybe choose a couple of parcels. That you might wanna put up right away. Find a broker that'll work with you. Yeah,
But I think just like we talked about, it'd be best to. Physically go out there and
Yeah.
notify physically,
yeah,
other than the mail.
I think so too.
Whether a poster or something on the house saying
Hmm,
town owns the house now, so.
yeah, and definitely to let these agents know right away, so that they're not surprised.
Right,
Have we received any return mail from anybody? Because she sends them
Oh, yeah,
clarified and return.
yeah, we
receipts.
have lots of return mail. Because people just don't wanna deal with it.
face the music, yeah.
Mhm.
But even if it's not a return receipt requested, are you getting the other, the non-registered mail back?
Undeliverable.
Oh, sometimes, but it's rare.
Right,
Yeah,
so they're getting it, it's just
No, when they need to sign.
not the one they need to
Kindling.
sign for.
Everyone good with that plan?
Mhm.
The goal here is to find the people.
And you think you can get us?
And get the tax money out of them and give them their property back.
We
That's
can
the
have,
hope.
we can have an update in a month on it,
oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
first meeting in June. What's the- True,
Mhm.
June 9th.
Well, it'll be everybody's last meeting
Yep.
for this term. It'll be Mike's last meeting for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Well, I hate to say thank you for this information.
Some good work.
Well, you knew it was coming.
Yeah.
She had been at the meeting.
Life song.
Yeah.
My
Very good
goodness
job, sir.
gracious.
Yeah. Okay, 11.2, we have an update from code enforcement on the Lady Slipper Lane Mobile Home Park. AKA.
Pass these around. These are photos from today.
Today's photos.
So I did a re-inspection today of Lady Slipper Lane. There's a spreadsheet basically outlining the violations on the property. Lot 3 was a new one with an unregistered vehicle, so now we're up to 6 unregistered vehicles total. And then we have I believe it's 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, 5 other lots that have varying degrees of trash issues or junk. Lot 10 being the worst. That's the one in the photo that you'll see. It's getting better, but we still can't quite get there. So I do know that Fred is here if you would like him to address the board. So
Do you have a current total number of violations?
that's it right there is what you have. So basically, if you I consider the unregistered vehicles because it's over the limit as one violation, and the rest of them would be 5.
Okay.
So you would have 5 for trash and then 1 for the unregistered, so a total of 6.
Question from the board.
We started at what, 16?
I believe so.
16 last meeting.
Mr. Bass, you have anything?
Yes, I trust you. Please. I left Maine here mid-January, went to Florida. And none of this was occurring when I left. In March, I got an email from Mark. And I got to agree with him, this is the worst I've ever seen the park accumulate trash in a short period of time. And it was the worst spring cleaning that I've ever done in 18 years coming here. And I arrived Easter Sunday. I got a 30-yard container from Riverside, and out of the original 11, 9 of them filled it up themselves. And I had a lady on number 27. I had to do it all. And there was another lady on 43 that's on dialysis, and I cleaned up her garbage. It wasn't 10 bags of garbage. Normally there's 3 or 4 appliances in the spring, and normally they drag it out to the road and I take it to the junkyard. A lot of these people don't have trucks. I guess you had a lot of snow, and a lot of this got covered up after January, and then when the snow receded, it was right there, right in your face. So right now, 2 of the biggest things with tenants are the vehicles, and I want to give you this. I'm all in favor of hauling them out, but this is the stone wall I've run into. I'm sorry, you two will have to, you two share this one. Okay. And the other issue is, I just want to get it on the record. When we did the inspection last week, there are plastic bags on
a few lots that have bottles in it. And Mark said if it's in a plastic bag or a garbage bag, it's garbage. And you concur?
There's no way to tell if it's returnables or whatever.
Okay,
And
but
if
that's
it's
your-
back out there,
That's your,
then it's-
okay, okay. That's the only thing. I just want that on the record. So these people on number 10, they will not get rid of their snowmobiles. They have bags of bottles that they will not get rid of. I've offered to buy them and haul them off. I am not gonna go on their property and take their bags of bottles. I'm just not gonna do it. I think I'm crossing the line. And this is on a couple other lots. I will say most of the tenants have been very accommodating to Mark's position and they've hauled the bottles off. But we're at an impasse where I can't seem to get him happy without having the police come up there and arrest me for doing something that the tenants don't want done on their lot. So I just want to put that all on the record. That's all I have to say.
Peggy?
I would clarify with you that when you wrote to Chief Lash, you wrote that you're being asked to remove those vehicles. We're not asking you as a business owner to remove those vehicles. We're asking you to enforce rules that cause your tenants to do what they are legally responsible to do, which is either register them or have them removed. So we're not asking you to do it. We're asking you to enforce your tenants to do it. And if you don't, and if you.
I have asked all of them to get
Right,
them
and
registered.
but if you don't have rules in the park that cause the tenants to keep the place the way it needs to be kept, then our recourse is not against the tenants. Our recourse is to deal with the owner, which is you. So we're not asking you to ask the tenants to do something. You can have park rules that say you're going to do it if that's the way you want to run your business, or you can have park rules that say you need the tenants to do it. They'll be fined, they'll be whatever. But we're not asking you to physically remove their trash. We're asking you to have rules in place that require them to physically remove their trash.
Well, I guess the only thing I can do that will make you happy is to try to take them to court and evict them.
That was my question is.
Because, but I will just tell you the story that happened last fall. I was dealing with the lady on number 27. She didn't have electricity. I thought I had a slam dunk case. I got to court. She agreed to be out in 3 weeks. And I had another tenant agreed to be out. And then the judge says, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to continue it till December 18th. And this lady on lot, I'm going on my memory here, but lot 27, the state had taken her children away and given her mother money. And the mother in turn gave this lady on lot 27 money. She paid CMP, got the power back on. That was the end of that eviction on her. So the judge obviously didn't want these people to be homeless. That's my conclusion, because normally when the tenants agree to something, they're happy to just get a judgment and get out the door, and it didn't happen. And I was like, oh my God, we're not going forward on this. And I have a feeling if I start taking tenants to court for bags of bottles, they're gonna come into court and say, well, there are bottles that, you know, I don't have a problem doing it, but I'm just telling you, the judge is gonna look at me and like, you got $10 worth of bottles? This is ridiculous.
Fred, you just gave us a success story. The lady found the money to get her power back.
Her mother gave it to her and the state gave her the
But-
money.
But she got the power back, which was a condition, and that was a success story. With the idea wasn't to evict her, that was a success story.
Well, the
to
judge
get
was happy,
power
yeah.
Back to her trailer.
Yeah, the judge was,
Enforcing your rule about the trailer requiring power. You could do the same thing with trash in the yard. And if they're faced with eviction, if they're gonna be out on the street, and
I
they
would
gotta
think
go,
they
and
would,
they
'cause
gotta
this is
go to
not-
court,
this-
then
Okay,
they're gonna pick up their trash.
Yeah.
And they can do all of this in an afternoon. They could just
I agree
walk-
with you.
Walk down to the dumpster and put it in the dumpster.
yeah, and again, most of this isn't trash, it's bottles.
But-
And they can, some of them have put the bottles in their vehicles. I've asked some of them, put them under your trailers, open up your skirting and just put them out of sight, out of mind. We don't wanna look at them. And it's been like pulling teeth with a few of them. Everybody else has been really good. And Mark can attest that.
But I'm just reinforcing what Becky said, which is you have to have enforceable rules on your property. So that when you go or do this, it's required. You agreed to abide by my rules if you want to live in this park. If you don't want to do it, then I'm gonna have to evict you. You'll have to
Yeah, yeah.
find other housing.
And I will say, I'm at about 90 to 95% people going along with it. There's just, number 10 is about the worst, number 8 is not much better. And he's got a vehicle, and I had another lady that had brought a vehicle in, and she emailed me today and it got towed off. I mean, some people are trying. I've been very persuasive with some people, but not all of
It's
them.
not persuasion.
Well, again, you're gonna get all the way to court before, most of them will do it if that's what
But you
it's
gotta
gonna
have
take.
that ultimate hammer. You're talking about this trailer number 10. If they're faced with eviction, they will make the change or they'll be gone.
I would like to see them gone, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Well, then
All
do
right,
that.
all right.
All right, well,
We're
will.
going around and around here. We did this last fall. We did this a couple of years ago. We keep going round and round. You're the park owner, you're the landowner. Mr. Best, you need to enforce your rules and get it cleaned up. And if it's great, you can go to Florida, and I can't wait till I can go to Florida for 3 or 4 months myself. But while you're gone, someone has to be here to supervise these people. I don't know who, we have a property manager, a park manager, or whoever,
Well,
and we've been through this before. I think we got a
I will.
got a fine from have we seen any money from the fine?
No.
No. So where are we going with that? It just goes round and round and round.
Well, I will proceed with the evictions on these people. And, what was the other thing here? And that's about it. And if some of them are gonna have, I don't know if I'll succeed in court, but I can try. That's all I can do.
Again, Fred, you can't wait until September to do it.
No, I will say,
No judge is going to do it with the winter coming. So you gotta do it now.
okay, I will. And
It
some of the
doesn't-
people have already been served, all right?
It doesn't solve the problem. It's Groundhog Day yet again. You need rules and you need somebody there to enforce them, which you obviously don't care about. And you owe us, the town, $8,000. I don't know what your fine is now, the current fine. You could have paid somebody that money to manage the park. But it just keeps growing and we're back here and we'll be back here in 3 months or 2 months or a month. It's never ending. So I guess my question to you is, what are you going to do differently?
I'm gonna have to hire more people before we go into next winter for sure, because obviously it wasn't adequate. I'm not denying it. I was
Well,
appalled.
we knew that. I mean, you stood there, we said this. Who are you gonna leave? Like, you need a property manager. Is the sale going through? I mean, that's what you told us the last time.
That sale died.
Well, that's sad.
I would very much like to sell it and be not in this hot seat here, you know.
How
But-
much do you want for it?
I'm
What's-
asking $2 million.
You're asking $2 million.
Asking and getting is two different things. Well, anyways, I will just tell the board, I will proceed with evicting these people. Or they're gonna, some of them, all they gotta do is move some bottles, that's all they
I
gotta
know,
do. Yeah.
this is a trivial exercise, but most of them, there has to be a hammer. Frustrating. Just absolute frustration on our part.
It's frustrating to me too, because
You know,
these
and
people call the
and
police,
I'm
and the minute
sympathetic.
you know,
I'm sympathetic because I know some of your clients
I know.
and but the place, when the last two winters, when I toured in the spring, it was unbelievable.
You have a responsibility as the landowner. You have a responsibility as a mobile park operator. And obviously, those responsibilities are not being met. And you can sit here and you can blame your tenants all you want, but they're your tenants. You choose them. You're the one who has an agreement with them. You need to deal with it. And it's not fair for the people who are really trying to have to live like that. It's not fair for the neighbors to have to.
And I guess
deal with
what I'm trying to tell you is, there were 30 yards of stuff that was hauled off, and that was done within literally 10 days after I got home. I jumped right on it the minute I got home. And I didn't shirk doing that. But these bottles on the deck are, I don't know why it's such a big deal, because some of them have no problem dealing with it and a few are. And okay, and I guess the answer is I'll have to take them to court, because common sense is not working here with them.
Mark, do you have
I
any?
hate to say it, but I can tell you how this is gonna go. We're gonna get to court and the bottles are gonna be cleaned up, and it's just a big waste of time. It'll happen, and then
Well, then
he'll
get
be
new
back there.
tenants. I
They
mean,
don't renew the lease.
don't renew the lease.
Don't renew their lease. Easy
There is
enough.
no lease.
Well, that's.
There's your problem.
There it is.
A lease with a set of rules that they need to abide by, that have fees attached to them, that'll cover your fees when we give fees to you for these untaken care of items, would do a lot of good. They would have agreed to it, and then you could enforce it. You could put in there that if they leave an unregistered vehicle in there for X amount of time, you are permitted to take it away. You could have those things in writing as an agreement for the folks who live in your park, but you choose not to have even a lease. So
Well,
you've
you know,
created this situation.
I'm not here to argue about the law, but all they need to do is put another rule about vehicles, and that'll cover everybody in the park. And I agree with you there.
Ruben?
So I'm going to ignore the previous number of violations. 6 violations at the maximum fine. That's $15,000 a day. So that's 133 days to the $2 million asking price. My math is wrong. Feel free to tell me.
Mark, you have nothing else?
Yeah, you just, it's frustrating for me, I've got enough to do without having to do, weekly visits up there and to figure out what's going on. The unregistered vehicles that, I understand and the board is spot on. This is a policy issue. This is, something that needs to be instilled in them. And then this is, Fred, and I've explained this to you before, this is private property. So if somebody doesn't remove something from your private property, you have the right to have it towed off and let them deal with it. Now, you can obviously talk to your lawyer and stuff like that, but you've got 6 cars on your property that don't need to be there. And, everything is up to you in order to try and correct that. And sometimes I just feel like I'm trying to work with you to try and resolve this, and we just can't seem to get there. The other thing that I would like to do is I want to make sure that you understand on the public record that this board voted in order to impose a $2,500 per day per violation fine. And you understand that. I don't know, if there's something I can do to help, other than explain to the people that are there, because it's not my job to explain to every person that's in your park, you know, how they're supposed to respond to this. I don't know what to do. I just. Here's the list from today. So that's the most recent list, and we'll continue to work on it.
And you'll be, Mr. Best, you'll be receiving in writing, you'll be receiving in writing what we talked about today. Because we have to put this issue to bed.
You'll be hearing from our attorney.
Anything else from the board?
Nope.
Nope.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time, Mark.
Agenda items for the next meeting.
Won't be until,
Tuesday night.
should be on the ninth.
It's the 9.
I had something too I wanted. Anyway,
Take a minute and think about it.
oh. The housing study.
The housing study, yes,
Housing study. I knew I-
housing study.
I knew
We'll
I
have
think-
Kate here.
Remember we
Yes,
did it.
we have it.
We paid for.
we
housing,
have it.
yeah.
Kate's been through it now.
Yeah,
We're,
that's what it was.
What
We have-
about any updates on the park? Is there gonna be any updates? I was just curious where they've been working so much down there. What's the next process?
Delaware River Community Park, that is.
I know, I know the park.
I guess the park.
You want an update on the park, where we are? Well, we have our grant funding.
Yep,
We're just,
Is there,
we're just.
he's gonna be set to go
So
out to
we
fix?
found, it'll be a good time to talk about it, because Kate and I just had our first meeting with our grants, for the grant.
So we'll talk about it the next meeting.
We'll talk about it at the next meeting.
Yep, that's
That's
why I
what
just
I'm
wanted to
saying,
bring
yeah.
that, yep.
Nice.
Hopefully by then the solar array will be fixed with revision. I know that they sent an email. I saw it. I just don't remember what they were doing.
They finally got the right chip,
Oh, good.
they said. I'm just glad it proved that Max and I were not nuts, that it was more complicated
No,
than,
that took some effort from some very qualified people.
Which I
Checked
don't
out.
understand because they're the ones that's installed it, correct?
Nope.
no.
No, that was
That was a
Sundial.
Sundial.
You kind of stopped answering us.
Any other agenda items for the
Wanna
next
see my
meeting?
shocked face?
I'm sure there'll be
Yeah,
more
that's
than
my shocked
Let's
face.
add those two and we'll call
I'm
it.
sure we'll add other things.
Make a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Seconded. Sorry.
There you go.